Mm-hmm.
All right. Last thing here, number 5, Zach Tom's impending contract extension. Right tackle Zach Tom, a 2022 fourth-round pick, is poised for a significant contract extension as he enters the final year of his rookie deal. Regarded as the Packers' best lineman, Tom finished third in All-Pro voting amongst right tackles in 2024 and has played all 5 offensive line positions. Mike Spofford of Packers.com wrote, quote, "I believe the Packers aren't letting Zach Tom go anywhere, projecting a deal that could exceed $20 million annually, aligning with top right tackles. Tom's elite pass blocking and versatility are vital for protecting Jordan Love's blind side," it says, meant front side, of course. However, his extension will strain the 2026 cap alongside Jenkins' $24.8 million cap hit, which I think that'll be lowered personally, and potential deals for Walker or Ryan. Securing Tom long-term could anchor the line, but it will force tough financial decisions. This whole Zach Tom contract here, Emilio, is why we're saying there's no way you can bring back Rasheed Walker for more than $15 million per. You just can't.
Right. No, it's exactly it, because the fact that the tackle is going to get paid. We were looking at the contracts last night. Obviously, he's doing really well, keeping the percentage of each, wide receiver room, D-line room. All those numbers are down so that you have the option to pay these players that are going to get, 5%, 10% of the cap. The issue is, you can't pay everybody at once. It can't be all in 1 year. Rasheed coming right up. I think that's why you go, hey, we know that we have to pay Zach Tom by next year, right? He's got to get paid. So he has this year to play it out, and we have to get it paid before the end of next year. So he's going to be paid. He's going to be handsomely paid and well-deserved. I think you figure it out. Maybe you pay your right tackle, your center, and then figure out who gets that third contract. I think you can handle 3 decent contracts on the line without it getting too out of hand contract-wise.
I agree. So you're going to pay Zach Tom. Elton Jenkins already getting paid. However, you're going to look to lower that cap number, I would imagine.
And maybe possibly extend him, possibly move him out for a couple more years just to work it a little.
Extend him, slap on 2 voidable years, give him a little bit more guaranteed money, lower the cap even more. You can make that work. So to be Zach Tom, Elton Jenkins, and Aaron Banks. Aaron Banks, remember what I said, for at least 2 years, right? Well, let's say Aaron Banks, that whole experiment just falls flat on his face. Well, in 2 years, he's off the cap. Elton Jenkins will probably be off the cap because you'll probably move on from him, right? So you'll have Zach Tom. You'll know what you got in Jordan Morgan, and you should know what you got in Anthony Belton as well. Those are probably the next 3 they're going to get paid. Zach Tom slides into the Elton Jenkins spot of kind of the older guy, right? And you want to extend him if he turns out to be, I don't want to say generational, but one of those third contract worthy players like Bakhtiari was.
Right.
You extend him again. You got your other 2 guys under contract, and guess what you're doing? You're drafting 2 to 4 more, right? And within that 2-year window, and just keeping that rotation going. I think that's truly what they're doing here.
Yeah.
So, and I like Rasheed Walker. I don't want people to take this the wrong way. I would love to have him as the left tackle for the Packers for the next 5 years. I just don't like it to the tune of $20 million per, because he is a great pass blocker, and that's the most valuable aspect of being a tackle in the NFL. The problem is that run blocking, and it's not horrible, but it's just, if you're going to pay somebody over $20 million, they better be able to do both like Zach Tom.
Would you be more willing, say Jordan Morgan does decent, would you be more willing to hit his 5th-year option rather than, like sign Rasheed Walker to a long-term deal?
So you tell me I have to choose between Rasheed Walker long-term deal or Jordan Morgan's 5th-year option?
Right. Just to get you, just to carry yourself over. Like, which one would you maybe rather chase down?
I mean, as it sits right now, if I'm being 100% honest,
Rasheed,
I would choose Rasheed.
Yeah.
But again, if he's going to go out there and ask for, and I keep saying over $20 million, the reality is left tackles are getting paid over $30 million.
Yeah, right.
So that's where it's just like, man, me no can do that. Ain't gonna happen. So that's the reality of having good offensive line play, right? And again, people are going, but we lost to Philly because of the offensive line, because of the depth, right? You were one injury away from that whole thing falling apart. I feel like they were holding up somewhat. And when Elton went down, my God, the wheels they came off. And look, we make jokes about Travis Glover all the time, but there's not many backup offensive linemen that you're going to be able to throw in that left guard spot against that Philly front in the biggest game of the season and go, all right, go do your job. It ain't going to happen.
Right.
They're the best of the best.
And that's the first time we've seen Glover at guard. So, like, they brought him in from tackle. I mean, he probably obviously practiced it, but they were like, hey, no, Glover, it's your time to shine, man.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
All right. Again, so the and here is just a quick little look at the contract. Let me read the big picture here, okay? The Packers' offensive line is a mix of proven talent, new additions, and emerging competitors, all critical to supporting Jordan Love in a run-heavy offense. Jenkins' transition, Banks' integration, and the battles at right guard and left tackle will determine the unit's cohesion, while Tom's extension looms as a financial cornerstone. As training camp approaches, these storylines will define whether the Packers can maintain their 2024 dominance up front and push for a Super Bowl in 2025. So when you look at the contracts, that's what you're essentially looking at. And again, I know it's kind of hard to see, but you got Elton Jenkins under contract through 2026. He'll be an unrestricted free agent in 2027. Aaron Banks is under contract. It is a 4-year deal. You'll notice the cap hit is only $9 million this year. It blimps to 24.8 next year. And again, when you get to 2027, it's far less dead cap than it is, the cap hit itself. So you could get out of it if you need to in 2027. You'll probably bring that number down to 24.8 next year, I would imagine as well. Zach Tom at $3.5 million. Is there a better deal in the NFL? I mean, my goodness. And you're going to listen, his contract, it'll probably get done before the end of training camp, I would imagine. And I'm going to say something that's probably going to tick some fans off, but this is how I truly feel about the Zach Tom contract situation. If I'm his agent and I'm Zach Tom, I'm handling that contract extension negotiation exactly how Jordan Love handled it. I'm not going out there on the practice field, right, until the new deal's done, but I'm going to be doing everything else that I can for the coaching staff, for the front office. Behind the scenes, we found out Jordan Love was throwing after practice when the cameras left, right, and when there's not a bunch of bodies around him. So hopefully he approaches it that way as opposed to just holding out. But I cannot fault Zach Tom for risking everything and going out there in training camp without a new deal. Now's the time to pay Zach Tom. He's been grossly underpaid the entire time, and that's kudos to Goody for making a great draft pick late in the draft. But it's time to pay the money. And I don't want to hear any slander of Zach Tom's name if you hear hold out, hold in, or anything like that. You know what I mean, Emilio? Because it's like he's done his part. It's time to pay that man his money.
Yeah. No, he absolutely has. And that's where you say, hey, like you said, come in there like Jordan Love, carry yourself well, do everything you can, but you deserve that money. You worked for it, get paid, and then move on, show up and then work hard, right? That's all we're asking from you. But yeah, I 100% think that, Zach Tom needs to get that money so that he can walk in there like Jordan Love did after the fact of, hey, I've put in 3-4 years of work. I'm here for this team. I'm here for to be a hard worker, lunch pail guy. I'm going to show you it after I get this money. I'm going to show you how I do and how I'm going to continue to do that for this team.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
Coach
about
Lynn.
this? Oh, my bad. You had one for Coach Lynn.
Let me hit it real quick. Yeah, Coach Lynn says that's exactly what he should do, meaning, get your money, right?
Yeah.
Chris Casualin says exactly. Coach Lynn also says, and we developed him, but he put in the work, no doubt about it.
That should be rewarding to the Packers. Like, all right, we drafted him, developed him, he gets paid. Love that.
That's what I love about our viewers, our listeners too. Like Adam Block, Tom can hold whatever he wants. Amen. Right? Because he's done everything the right way. Go ahead with the one you want to hit, man.
Just H.E. Soder just asking a crazy question. Crazy talk here. Keep Walker and let Tom walk.
Man, to quote the great Ricky Bobby, I'm too drunk to taste that chicken. So it is fascinating. That's a fascinating comment. I don't know if he's joking or not, right? But what if that is what Goody did? Of course, that's what we would be.
That would be something that Goody would do. We've talked about it. Zach Tom going to get that.
And it would
money.
work too. It would work somehow, right?
And Zach Tom's in a trade package for 2 firsts somehow, and it's like, Goody, what are we doing?
Zach Tom would go somewhere else, get paid $30-some million per year, and be a horrible player in that scheme. And Rasheed Walker go on to be the next Bakhtiari healthy.
Right.
That's what would happen. But yeah, J. Cole, don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Well, yeah.
Love it. All right, so the other contracts, just real quick, and we'll wrap this big bear up here. Rasheed Walker, contract year, we talked about it. He's only 3.4 against the cap this year. He's unrestricted. Jordan Morgan, 3.2 this year, 3.8 next year, 4.5 next year, or the year after that. 2028 says to be determined. That's the fifth-year option year, right? So the only reason that makes that okay. Sean Ryan, 1.6 million, then he'll be unrestricted. Trey Hill, 1.1 unrestricted. Jacob Monk, we've got him for 3 more years. Barely over $1 million in all 3 years. Travis Glover, money well spent, right, Emilio?
Absolutely.
1 million, 1.1 million, 1.2 million. And this is what I'm talking about. When you see Philly's front put him in a turnstile, he's getting paid. He got paid less than $1 million last year. Get off his back, right? Like, I mean, what do you expect from a player that's, that young and that, that level of contract? Kadeem Telford is $960K this year. However, he is an exclusive rights free agent, so you can get him back if you want him, right? John Williams, the new rookie. We haven't even talked about him. Hopefully he can fit in and earn the roster spot, right? He's under $1 million this year, then jumps to $1 million, 1.1, then 1.2. Brant Banks, don't even know who that is, but he's on somewhat of a futures deal. Looks like Tyler Cooper, same thing. We got basically 4 years of rights on both of those guys. Marquise Hayes, 1 year, then an exclusive rights free agent. Donovan Jennings, 1 year exclusive rights free agent. And then JJ Lepe is 3 year, really 4 years of rights for him, with the fourth being a restricted free agency. So that is your offensive line room as it sits right now. So anything else you want to add to that, Emilio?
No, it's a full offensive line room. I think that we're probably going in with 10 or 11, and I think they're just going to want to keep it that way. And I think there's going to be, if they rotated Jordan Morgan like that last year, Belton is probably going to get rotational snaps at right guard, even if Sean Ryan does win it. And I do think that they're just going to want as many live in-season reps as you can get them without causing too much problem to the offense, or, get reps to anyone, obviously, but to Belton, make sure that line's solidified. I think that they'd be trying to run that down.
Yeah, definitely. All right. That's it, man. I think we got everything on the list other than the Micah Robinson scouting report. So we'll hit that tomorrow. We'll jump into that. That'd be a lot of fun. We've still got the Baron Sorrell Chalk Talk teed up. And we're going to hit those guys. Please don't. I haven't forgotten about them. It's just when you get stuff like that emerged today with the whole Elton Jenkins thing, is he actually missing? We got offensive line talk. We're going to we want to give you guys the highest quality content we can during the off season, and not just go through, hit everything at once, and us be sitting over here talking about Mount Rushmores of Chicago-style pizza. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
So
speaking of Chicago-style pizza, what do you think of the Cowboys getting their boy Pickens?
So you saying it's just a thick, sloppy mess down there? Is that what you're saying?
Just trying to transition.
To me, I think he fits in with Dallas. I think he's going to be one of those guys that it's either going to work or they're going to run his ass out of town like they did to Yo. Pickens had a lot of baggage coming into the league, right? But at the end of the day, did he cause a big uproar in Pittsburgh? I don't think he did he?
No. I was listening to the PFF pod. I'm pretty sure it was top 3. I believe it was wide receivers, offensive guys that have penalties against them. Guess who number 1 was?
Who?
DK Metcalf.
I believe it.
So he leaves Seattle, goes to Steelers for the number 1, right? Who's number 2? Guess that.
Was it Pickens?
It was CeeDee Lamb was number 2. No. And number 3, your boy George Pickens. So the Cowboys. Since 22, the most offensive penalties from a wide receiver has been Metcalf, CeeDee Lamb, and Pickens, in that order. And the Cowboys went ahead and just grabbed another one, bring them over. But
second and third most penalized.
Yeah. Right? But to that point, the Cowboys needed a vertical threat that can go up and get a ball. George Pickens can do that. The Cowboys really did not have a second or third receiver beyond CeeDee Lamb. They had Gallup, they have Turpin, they have all these guys, but it's not the same. It's not the same threat. Like, if you're a defense scheming up them, all right, let's double CD. Let's bracket him. Let's roll the coverage, do all that. Now with somebody that can actually threaten that, I really do think that's going to help him. And then the only other talk was just like who won the deal, and it's probably a toss-up. Right now, I do think that the Cowboys probably won it a little bit more. But the Steelers get, the higher picks and all of that.
That's really, really interesting, man.
And the other issue is the Cowboys have to pay Pickens after this year if it doesn't work. He only has 1 year left on the contract.
Right. And it kind of makes you wonder, did they work? There's not been reports that they've worked out a deal before the trade, right?
So, yeah, it's like a Hassan Reddick type thing.
Got it. One for, hey, play it out. And, that's a good point, too. You bring out Hassan Reddick. What if it ended up that way? What if he's expecting to get a deal, nothing gets done, and then he ends up being an absolute menace,
Yeah.
Okay, so they are getting Dak back, though, right? So,
yes.
CeeDee Lamb's a good wide receiver.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's elite. Yeah.
I think that if George Pickens keeps his nose clean down there, and he creates that chemistry with Dak, I think that could be a good pickup. Because if I remember correctly, and you probably just said it as I was reading the chat, they gave up a third but got a fifth back or something like that.
Yeah, they gave up a third and a fifth and got a sixth back.
Got it.
Is what I believe how it went. But yeah, either way, I mean, you think about the Steelers. Okay, yeah, we're trying to stock up picks. Maybe Rodgers didn't want to go if Pickens was there. Maybe he said, I can only handle DK or whatever. But you look at it, the grand scheme of things, DK came over, they paid DK buku bucks, and George Pickens was sitting there waiting for his next contract. Where is he going to go? Most likely off the team after a wide receiver just came in and got that money,
Right. Good point, man. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. I love the NFL. It's king. There's going to be so many storylines. I mean, you see all the storylines we've got in Green Bay. And, I mean, with camp breaks, I haven't been this excited for a training camp in a long time.
Yeah.
There are going to be so many camp battles, man. And yeah, if Elton Jenkins, hopefully, like I said, nothing's wrong there and he's good to go and he's going to come in and play center and everything's going to be fine. If that's the case, man, oh man, I'm really liking what we did on offensive line, especially if Jordan Morgan takes a step or Anthony Belton is the real deal. I like what you got in Matthew Golden. I think he's got the potential to be a superstar. The thing that gives me the most hope about Matthew Golden is his ball tracking ability. Mm-hmm. That's not easy to do. Some receivers make it look easy. He made it look easy in college. We'll see if he can do that at the pros. But he has not had a quarterback like Jordan Love that could throw a ball 70 yards. He just has not had it. And I cannot wait to watch Jordan uncork the first one to Matthew Golden and him run underneath that thing. That way we can finally put to bed the whole, is he a 4.29? Is he a 4.35? Mm-hmm. Is he a 4.4? Whatever. I'm more interested in his route running ability. Ryan did a great job breaking that down on his pod, talking about his route running ability. And the big thing for me, first and foremost, with Matthew Golden is just, like I said, his ability to track the ball, timing on high point in the ball, all that stuff. He's a hands catcher. You hardly ever see him catch with his body. Yeah, it's just so fitting that in the green and gold, going to be a superstar named Golden. I think he's going to be great. And Savion's just going to come out here and peel some caps. I think that's going to happen. I think he's going to put some people on their ass. I'm excited.
I can't wait. I mean, he is the first dude I'm going to upgrade in Madden. I'm sending all my points right to him. Once I get 6'4", 220, I'm going to make him just 95 speed and just running over people.
Oh, my God. Get that trucking ability about 90. Right. You don't want to cheese it and put it to 99. We'll put it
No. I don't want him bouncing off every tackle.
All right, guys. We appreciate y'all hanging out. The chat was on fire tonight. If you guys would hit that like button before we get out of here. As always, the best way to support what we do here at Packers Total Access is join our Patreon community for $3. You get access to everything on the site. All the write-ups we covered tonight. You can access them. The stuff that we got coming up on shows, you've got early access to it. You get the chalk talks, all that good stuff. Just scan the QR code in the upper right or go to patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. You'll see multiple tiers. If you want to be generous, you can get one of the higher tiers. That's cool. But that minimum $3 gets you everything. You're good to go. We'll have some giveaways coming up. I think next Saturday will be our next giveaway. I got to send all this stuff out. I got 3 more things to ship out. And we got some jerseys that are going to be going out. And we're going to be doing, like I said, a charity here real soon that I'm going to get behind and see if we can raise some money for a good cause. I'll be unveiling that here real soon. I got to get started on that this weekend. So
yes, definitely
helping some people that are dealing with stuff way tougher than anything I've ever had to deal with in my life. And anytime we get an opportunity as a group, I want people to look at the PTA crew, not me and Emilio, not Jacob, not Tim, us as a whole, all of us, the chat, everybody, like, man, those guys over at Packers Total Access, their listeners, their viewers, they really care about people. So I'm excited about making a little difference in this crazy world, So
absolutely.
Anyway, everybody have a great night. Hit that like button. We will see you guys and gals tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central. As always, let's go out and be the change.